Good evening, hello and welcome to News Epicenter. I'm Anusha Soni. Well, today was the last day of filing elections for Karnataka elections. The nominations have been filed and it was a busy day at all the centres where the nominations were being filed. The fate of over 3,600 candidates shall be decided by over 5 crore voters in the state of Karnataka. The state polls in a single phase on the 10th of May and the results will be declared on the 13th. Well, a lot has happened in the run-up to elections, much more to happen. Apart from aggressive campaigning, there is rebellion, mutiny, defections and so much more. This election is a litmus test for the Congress and the BJP, and the contest has implications far beyond the state of Karnataka. This big election will be crucial for BJP's expansion in the south of the country, as the state is called the gateway to southern India and for political ambitions. For the Congress, it's not just about coming or holding on to power, coming back to power in the state of Karnataka. They were earlier in successive governments. But in many ways, for the grand old party, this is a fight for survival and relevance at the national level. As we inch closer to the polling day, the key question for the Congress is whether it can return to power. Will 40% commission chart stick? Can the party gain from the BJP turncoats, those high-profile exits that have happened? Can the grand old party notch up the Lingayat vote, a vote bank that decides the fate of any political party in the state of Karnataka? For the incumbent BJP, can it retain power? Will the corruption charges hurt the party? The 40% corruption charge, the kickbacks that the Congress party has made in the public domain. Can the new faces steer their political fortune? So many new faces have been fielded by the BJP. Or has the rebellion made the traditional BJP voters in the state? Can the Modi factor help it cross the finish line? Well, who can forget? The JDS, another crucial party in the state of Karnataka. Can it dent the BJP in Congress? JDS insists on forming a government on its own. That's what they've said in the public domain. But can it make its mark beyond south of Karnataka? Experts point out that maybe few seats in the north, but their assertions are far bigger. Can it make gain from the turncoats? At least 20 such turncoats, and some of them even have a winnability factor, as the experts suggest. We talk about all these factors, the political discourse, the nuance, the caste and the subcaste and much more on News Epicenter.
People are looking at the Bharatiya Janata Party to be really different, have a very clear-cut clarity, strategy, so that people can look up much more confident in more better way. So the party took a decision to have new faces.
Correct.
In some of the
72 new faces.
Yeah, 72 new faces.
I ask you, as a citizen of India, Mr. Prime Minister Modi, wasn't Mr. Ishwarappa sacked as a minister because a BJP leader and worker Santosh Patel committed suicide?
Well, let's take all the questions pertaining to the Battle of Karnataka and who's going to win it to our guests who are joining us on the broadcast. We have Mr. Madhuvan Rao, the Karnataka BJP spokesperson, Lavanya Balal from the Congress party, T.R. Prasad Gaura, the JDS leader, and Mr. Sumant Sriraman is also with us on the show. Madhuvan Rao, sir, beginning the discussion with you, Mr. Rao. A lot has been said about Karnataka elections, and it's true that before the elections, after the ticket distribution really happens, some rebellions, mutiny, crossover from one party to another, that's not unusual. But when former Deputy Chief Minister exits, and these are these high-profile exits that we're talking about, it directly concerns the Lingayat vote in the state, which is very, very critical for any political party. It does point out, sir, that all is not well within the BJP. Mr. Rao.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I think we've been very vocal on these things. What are those? We are banking on our development, we are banking on our performance and also our social re-engineering factors. So having said so, Now, if you were to come to Mr. Shettar, let me address it directly. If you are pointing questions of as to Mr. Shettar is that, I think I need to, a few things I need to mention it out. He was the same person. He was a Sangh man for so many years. He has been a CM. He has been a revenue minister. He has been a leader of opposition for the BJP. And of all, when he is leaving, you know what he told? Just 2 days before he left BJP, quote unquote, I'll just say this, Congress is in ICU in Karnataka. In whole of India, the Congress is decimated. DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah are finishing the party. And the same person, after a few days, goes back to the Congress and bats for the Congress. It's really, it is opportunistic politics. It's nothing to do with ideological thought process for Mr. Shettar. And if you're talking about Lingayats, I really don't understand the Congress party. It was the same Congress party way back in 2018 who wanted to bring in some sort of a disturbance, and they wanted to, in fact, create a new religion whatsoever, which backfired to them.
Yeah.
At that point of time, I remember October 2018, when DK Shivakumar, with folded hands, he told, we did a very wrong thing and it was a blunder from our part. So therefore, to say that Lingayats, it is an issue, no, absolutely not. Lingayats have been voting for us right from 1990 onwards, when they demeaned and insulted Virendra Patil. We know how Mr. Rajiv Gandhi treated them. So therefore, in fact, we have been very happy about our performance. Look at the reservation aspects.
No, sir, I want to come back to the defections. You put your point across that how the BJP is confident, and you're confident that you're going to hold on to those votes. And I'm sure that as a political person, you know the importance of Lingayat votes. But I want to understand from you that with all these defections, there's also Mr. Ishwarappa. There was a call that the Prime Minister made to Mr. Ishwarappa, and he said that he stands firm with the party. The entire Lingayat factor and whether any other high-profile exit is going to happen from the party is something that has worried the High Command as well. But it is a known fact, and I'm sure the other panelists on the broadcast, especially Mr. Sumansi Raman, might want to come in on this, that it can be a benefit, say, for a party like JDS. About 20 turncoats have been fielded for them, and some of them may even win in the north of the Karnataka. That could directly affect the Congress and the BJP. So for you to say, these defections are not going to affect us, I don't think that holds true for the BJP. Mr. Raman, what's your view on that?
No, most certainly these defections will impact the BJP. The question is, to what extent would that impact be? Because northern Karnataka is a kind of a stronghold for BJP, and therefore they would have a certain measure of comfort in northern Karnataka. But if these defections start to hurt them, even in 20, 25, 30 seats, it could be a big problem for BJP. As far as JDS is concerned, they only have pockets of influence in northern Karnataka. They are a South Karnataka party. So I can't see the JDS making huge inroads into northern Karnataka. It's not very, very unlikely to happen. But the Congress is certainly poised to benefit. And increasingly, it is starting to look like a wave election. What till about 2 weeks ago was seeming to be a tight contest, slowly it is moving away from the BJP at the moment. And I think that if...
Mr. Raman, while you say that, these are the visuals we are running on the screen on the right-hand side. These are the live visuals of a roadshow that Mr. JP Nadda is conducting in Bidar, Karnataka. So clearly, the top brass of the BJP is on the ground. You'll also have the Prime Minister campaigning in the state.
They will fight. There is no doubt that they will fight. But the point is, which way is the wind blowing? And it's not just from the exit of Mr. Shettar or Mr. Laxman Savadi. The general trend is going away from the BJP in Karnataka.
And why is that so? And why is that so in your understanding that the general trend is going away from the BJP and you're calling it a wave election?
I think the delivery of the last 4 years has not been up to the mark, and this image of corruption, 40% Sarkara, has sort of had an impact on the ground. The other important, when you have contractors committing suicide and all that, it creates an extremely negative perception for the ruling party.
All right,
of course, Mr. Bombay is not exactly the most inspiring.
I'll come to you, Madhuji. I'll come to you. I'll give you the opportunity to respond. I want to bring in Lavanya into the discussion. Lavanya, as I pointed out, there's a roadshow by Mr. JP Nadda. The Modi factor, do you think that could be decisive in Karnataka election? It has been the factor for the BJP for them to win multiple state election. Brand Narendra Modi has not faded. It has only become stronger with time. Though local issues hold a lot of importance, but the kind of sway Prime Minister, his own personality has had and the impact on multiple state elections, do you believe that can be the story in Karnataka as well? BJP thinks so.
Good evening,
Good
Anusha.
evening.
No, it's not this time in Karnataka. If you look at our Prime Minister's recent visits to Karnataka, there's a huge amount of backlash. People are questioning his silence. It was going through multiple crises in the last 4 years. You know, there was a radio silence from the Prime Minister. He did not acknowledge the problems this was facing, and that was the question everybody was facing. And as far as Mr. Siddaramaiah is concerned, right now the most unpopular person in Karnataka is Mr. JP Nadda after a speech the other day where he threatened, saying, you know, if the BJP doesn't win in Karnataka, you will not be in the graces of the Prime Minister. And that has made him very, very unpopular. And as well as Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he's a Prime Minister, come on. I know he's a star campaigner for BJP, but today he had called up Ishwarappa, the minister who was forced to resign because of corruption. And he's telling him not to rebel and he's trying to pacify him and all of that. See, it may be good within the party premises, perfect. But when it became public knowledge, right, the people are questioning now. The Prime Minister who famously said, na khaunga, na khane dunga, is right now talking to a leader who was sacked because of corruption charges, because a contractor committed suicide, right? And Ishwarappa ji was forced to resign. So what is the message that our Prime Minister is giving to the people of Karnataka? So no, it will not, the brand Modi ji will not work as much as it has worked in other states. It will not work in Karnataka this time, especially because
Madhu and Rao, you've heard from from the expert and also from the Congress party that this entire charge of corruption, 40% corruption, and how that's problematic is something that perhaps is resonating on the ground, and it could cost the BJP, and perhaps the national leadership and perhaps that narrative may not be able to save the fortune for the BJP.
If I may come in,
Sure.
just give me a minute's time, please.
Sure.
You know what? These people are talking about corruption. I heard even Suman C. Raman speaking about corruption. I do not know really as to how much he knows about what's happening in Karnataka, though. But let me tell you this, for the sake of repetition, because I think the Congress has a deaf ears. Kempanna in July 2022 had specifically told I would give all the documents to the union government officials. Union government officials came. He did not provide any documentation. He kept on his rant and telling that corruption is there against one of our ministers, Mr. Muniratna. Muniratna filed a defamation case and also a suit against him in the magistrate court, and summons were issued against Kempanna, who was the mouthpiece of the Congress, and against 18 others. They did not come and iota of evidence. Then what happened? Summons were issued. They did not come. NBW was issued. They were absconding. Then they got arrested. They did not after they got arrested, they did not give any evidence. Now, this is the Congress party for you. None of the citizens of the state have given any complaint against any authorities. Now, this is point number one. So let rest aside, because the Congress toolkit seems to have not working on this aspect. Second issue, Santosh Patil, who they are claiming that he died, let me tell you, he apparently was working in the constituency of Congress MLA Laxman Savadi. Believe you me, there is no document to prove, no document on record where his name was appearing in the government records. And the Congress party wants payment to be done to Santosh Patil, whose name is not appearing in the books. And if you pay him money, then
Lavanya,
the will come and question as to why did you pay? This is what the Congress party has been doing from time immemorial.
But sir, if you believe that the corruption charge will not stick, what is the reason that the BJP has fielded so many new faces? Then you should have banked upon your old faces and the veterans within the party.
This is a generational shift. Yes, we have taken some strong steps in order to give tickets to our Karyakartas. Unlike the Congress party or the JDS, what's wrong in that? We have taken that step and we have been giving tickets to them. And of course, there are stalwarts who are still there to support us and to help us win these elections. I don't see nothing wrong in that. But having said so, we are very proud of our reservation things. Where was Congress party for all these years for the reservation? Did they hike it? They did not do it. Now of all the Congress parties telling that the reservation will be taken off and will be provided.
I'll take that question to other political party as well. Yes.
Please tell us from which part of the category would you take the reservation and provide it to the Muslims? We are telling that the Muslim
I want to bring in
reservation was
Mr.
wrong,
T.R.
and
Prasad
therefore
Gowda
we-
into the discussion as well. He's been patiently waiting. Lavanya, 30 seconds to you, then I'll bring in the JDS. A quick response. Lavanya, 30 seconds.
The BJP guy takes the lion's share of the time in the debates. I would
Nobody's
like to clear
taking
one.
lion's share. You are getting all your time. No, one at a time. One at a time. Lavanya right now. Lavanya, please go ahead. Lavanya, go ahead.
Kempanna raised corruption charges multiple times. There was no response from the Prime Minister's office. Neither was a response.
you need
from the
International Court of Justice.
Madhuji,
You need
one at a
International
time.
Court of Justice.
Let's respect the civility of the debate. Lavanya.
And that's when the Congress started speaking up on behalf of the Contractors Association, as is the duty of the opposition party. When he talks about Santosh Patil, who committed suicide, he says he worked in a Congress MLA's constituency. In his last letter, the death note, he has written that he was asked to work first and then he'll be paid. And let me make it very clear, if you go to Pratap Simha, the BJP MP, his Twitter feed, you can still see when Modi ji was visiting Mysore, he says, I got the work done. I told the contractors to get the work done and then they will be paid later without a tender process in place. So BJP has this habit of making the contractors work without the tender process in place, which is a violation of every law in India.
I want to bring in Mr. T.R. Prasad Gowda into the discussion. Then my colleague Harish Upadhyay is also with us on the broadcast. I quickly want to take in a word from him as well. Mr. Gowda, the party which has traditionally dominated only a certain regions, the south of Karnataka, are you confident you can expand in other parts of the state? And more importantly, a lot of turncoats have found place within your party, which many call the classic JDS style. Will that help you in the run-up to the elections? Or you'd be able to form the government on your own? That's the narrative you're adopting?
Madam, this 2023 elections are unique and favorable situations for the JDS. Not only in South Karnataka, this time we are going to perform better, compared to previous elections. In North Karnataka also, we have a very good response from the people of North Karnataka. People are welcoming our former Chief Minister Kumaraswamy wholeheartedly. Wherever we go, lakhs and lakhs of people are gathering, and we are confident this time. In North Karnataka, we are going to win a very good number of MLAs from North Karnataka as well, and we are confident this time with the blessings of the 6.5 crores of Karnataka, the regional party, our party will going to form the government with simple majority, madam.
You're saying you're going to form the government with simple majority.
And,
a lot of
also, why I'm telling with these words confidently, because the way our Kumaraswamy, former Chief Minister of Karnataka, worked for the people, welfare of the people of Karnataka. He worked, and he is going before the people with clean hand. It doesn't have any corruption charges, don't have anything. He waived off the farmers' loan to the extent of 27,000 crores when he was Chief Minister for a tenure of 14 months. With all, even though he had lot of problem both from the partners, from the Congress partners, still is able to do the needful to the people of.
Let's see, sir, how that really turns out to be. You are clearly benefiting from the turncoats, and I'm sure Mr. Sumansi Raman agrees with that. Mr. Raman, there are 2 points that I've heard from most of the political spokespersons who are with us on the broadcast. One is an issue of reservation and the writing off of farmers' loans in the state of Karnataka. Like many other states in the country, it is an agrarian economy in many ways, and that's a very, very important issue. Drought has been a major issue in the state of Karnataka. How has the BJP government fared on these metrics when we come to the reservation bit, writing of the loans and their development schemes? Because one of the key things that Mr. Madhu Rao has been talking about is we've done development on the ground. Is there development that can be seen?
There are 2 things here. One is on the reservation. Clearly, it is a politically opportunistic attempt. First of all, this reservation exceeds the 50% quota, so it is very likely going to be struck down by the courts. And I think the BJP knows that also, because it exceeds the 50% quota of the Indira Sawhney judgment.
Yeah.
The second thing is, taking away the existing reservation from the Muslims on the eve of the election it tells you a story. It tells you that you're not really very confident of facing this election on the development plan. So you not only have to give extra reservation to Lingayats and Vokkaligas, but you also have to take away reservation, which is a very, very unusual thing. You don't see this in many states.
So can I take that point to the BJP? I find it interesting. Madhuji, why did you have to take reservation from one particular community? Are you not confident?
Because anyway they've exceeded 50%. So
Anyways, you've exceeded the ceiling of Indira Sani set by the Supreme Court.
Well, I think let me, Mr. Sumansi Raman, kindly listen to me. I have a very bad throat. Kindly give me some time.
Ji.
It was in 1990, Chinnappa Reddy Commission, which told that Muslims must be given some percentage of reservation as a backward class, and that was implemented by Mr. Deve Gowda government in 1995. And this issue of reservation, which was given to Muslims, was to give in effect to Article 16.4 and 15.4 of the Constitution for the socially and economically backward classes. Are Muslims socially and backward classes in terms? They are not. They are in terms of religion. So this is a religion-based reservation which was done blatantly in violation of the Constitution principles. Therefore, we told it is not correct. Therefore, we removed it.
Why did it? Sir, okay, let me ask that question. I mean, the timing of the move of the government is questionable here, sir. Madhuji.
Well, it's not about the timing. We had given a lot of time for understanding the provisions, and we came with a conclusion, yes, this is wrong, and we have done it. Well, if someone has a issue with regard to the timing, well, be it as it may, I can't help it. But then the fact of the matter remains, whether we do it now or 3 years back or 4 years later, the fact of the matter remains, it was unconstitutional. We have removed it. Let it go before the court.
Sumanji, make your point, then I'll bring in Lavanya into the discussion. Sumanji, your point. Sumanji.
No, the bottom line is very clear. This is to say that, look, the old story of, of putting, quote unquote, putting Muslims in their place. I think that, again, that they are having to hark back on the Hindutva hardline stance. That is why you saw in the last 1 year this hijab issue and so on. So,
No, Madhuji, let him finish the point. No, one at a time.
Development is, look, the Prime Minister doesn't even mention the Chief Minister by name. I mean, what can be more of an insult to a sitting Chief Minister, incumbent Chief Minister, when his own party boss and the Prime Minister does not even mention him by name?
All right, a quick response from the BJP, then I have to take the other two guests. I have very limited time on the show. Madhu and Rao. Mr. Raman, allow Madhu to make a point. Madhu and Rao, please. Yeah.
I think Mr. Sumansi Raman perhaps is acting more of a spokesperson than a Congress party, but nevertheless, having listened to him, I am really not understanding as to what Sumansi Raman is talking about. Let me be very clear on the reservation of Muslims and hijab he was mentioning. Hijab was not taken up by our government. 5 ladies who went to this High Court and the issue spiraled up to Supreme Court. We did not even in regard to the Azan, we did not take up the issue. Tipu Sultan issue, we did not take up the issue. It was raked up in the Congress party.
I have last 2 minutes on the show, Mr.
Reacting to it. So therefore, to say that we were responsible for that, it's entirely wrong.
I give the last 2 minutes to the tone of communal politics in the state of Karnataka. Lavanya, communal issues have dominated the politics of Karnataka and the political discourse in the state. Do you think they're going to be decisive in any way?
Absolutely not. BJP wanted to make it the deciding issues in Karnataka. It didn't happen. It didn't work out because people are very intelligent in Karnataka. And Mr. Rao is forgetting that the Udupi MLA who started the issue, Raghupati Bhatt, who's been denied a ticket, was a BJP MLA when the issue started about the hijab. He seems to forget that.
He did not start.
One at a time, sir. One at a time. Mr. Rao, one at a time. Lavanya ji.
The writing on the wall is very clear. The BJP has failed to deliver in terms of administration and development, and they're going to lose the elections. And that is why they are coming up with all of these issues which will divide the society in Karnataka. Unfortunate, Karnataka deserves better.
Mr. Gaura, coming to you for the final word. When it comes to these deeply polarizing issues, do you think this narrative will work in Karnataka? Because the politics of the state has been predominantly driven by the caste factors, local issues, and this narrative coming in from, at the national level, or perhaps a sweeping narrative, has not had much impact on Karnataka politics. It's largely driven by local and, semi-local issues.
Yes, madam, you are right. This 2023 elections doesn't have much impact by national BJP national leaders and Prime Minister also, Prime Modi or Amit Shah, doesn't have much impact because people of Karnataka have understood very well that their impact, their coming here and doing canvassing to influence the people of Karnataka. The people are understood.
Okay.
People have already understood. They have failed in all angles because last occasions when they come, people really waiting. They will deliver something. Now they have failed to deliver everything.
Let's see, sir.
And not only that,
This narrative, this particular narrative coming in from the JDS plus the Congress party, the development has not happened. Whether it's something that's going to resonate with the electorate of Karnataka today, the last day of filing nominations. I thank you all, Mr. Madhu N. Rao, Lavanya Balal, T.R. Prasad Gaura, and Mr. Suman Siraman. Thank you all for joining us on the broadcast. Well, we also have a special guest joining us on the broadcast today. We have Mr. K.S. Ishwarappa, the former Deputy Chief Minister for the state of Karnataka, senior BJP leader. Sir, thank you so much for speaking with us. Thank you for sparing your time. मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहूंगी कि आज प्रधानमंत्री ने आपको खुद कॉल किया था. आपकी क्या बातचीत हुई और क्या संदेश दिया प्रधानमंत्री ने?
पहले प्रधानमंत्री ने मुझे एक अभिनंदन दिया. मुझे बहुत आश्चर्य भी होगा और खुशी भी हो गया क्योंकि कर्नाटक में हमारा राष्ट्रीय नेता माननीय नड्डा जी और धर्मेंद्र प्रधान और संतोष जी तीनों मिलाकर मुझे फोन किया. आप चुनाव पॉलिटिक्स से निवृत्ति होना चाहिए ऐसा बोला. 100% मैं एक्सेप्ट करके 10 मिनट में मेरा लेटर भेज दिया. उनको भी बहुत खुशी हो गया माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, माननीय जगदीश शेट्टर रेजिग्नेशन बीजेपी के देकर कांग्रेस गया. ये मुझे बहुत पेन हो गया. इसलिए उनको मैं एक पब्लिक लेटर लिखा जी बाहर पब्लिक को बहिरंग पत्र. उसमें मैं पूछा क्योंकि आपको सभी दिया है भाजपा ने. 6 टाइम आप एमएलए है, विविध डिपार्टमेंट से मंत्री भी है और स्टेट बीजेपी प्रेसिडेंट था, स्पीकर था, सीएम था. और क्या देना है आपको? इतना देने के बाद भी आप बीजेपी को रेसिग्नेशन कर कांग्रेस क्यों गया? ये सभी मुझे बहुत पेन हो गया है. पूछा जी.
सर आपके बेटे को भी
ये सभी सुनकर प्राइम मिनिस्टर को खुशी होकर मुझे आज अभिनंदन.
सर आपके बेटे को भी टिकट नहीं दिया गया है. बहुत सारे ऐसे कयास लगाए जा रहे थे कि आपके बेटे को टिकट दे दिया जाएगा भारतीय जनता पार्टी से, मगर वो भी नहीं हुआ. क्या आप उससे निराश हैं?
नहीं, सबको किसको टिकट देने से पार्टी को और स्टेट को अच्छा होता है वो ऊपर वाला हमारा स्टेट नेशनल लीडर्स फाइनल करता है. किसको देना नहीं देना उसको हमें तो सिर्फ पूछना है. देने वाला नेशनल लीडर्स है. इसके बारे में क्यों नहीं दिया उसके पूछने का कोई हक नहीं है. लेकिन कर्नाटक में एक मुझे 5 बार एमएलए करने का एक कार्यकर्ता को मिला है. हम सबको बहुत खुशी है.
सर बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं, आपने नाम भी लिया, जगदीश शेट्टर हुआ, लक्ष्मण सवदी हुआ, ये हैवीवेट्स थे, बड़े बड़े नेता थे ये बीजेपी के. इन्होंने पार्टी छोड़ दी है, वो आज कांग्रेस में चले गए हैं. बहुत सारे ऐसे छोटे छोटे नेता हैं जो जेडीएस में भी चले गए हैं. क्या भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इनसे राजनीतिक आहत होगा?
सिर्फ भाजपा का नुकसान जगदीश शेट्टर से हुआ जी. लक्ष्मण सवदी बाहर से आया था, बाहर गया है और दूसरा कोई बीजेपी का छोड़कर नहीं गया है. जगदीश शेट्टर को भी हम क्यों गया पूछा तो उनके पास रिप्लाई नहीं. कोई व्यक्ति गया तो भी भाजपा का कोई नुकसान नहीं है. हम कर्नाटक में डेफिनेटली बीजेपी को अधिकार में हम लाएंगे.
सर कांग्रेस और जेडीएस को सबसे ज्यादा इससे फायदा हुआ है. बड़े बड़े नाम हैं जो कांग्रेस में चले गए हैं, जेडीएस में भी चले गए हैं. जैसे मैंने आपसे बोला, बहुत सारे ऐसे लोगों को टिकट भी दे दी गई है. क्या कांग्रेस और जेडीएस को इससे सीधे सीधे फायदा होगा? क्योंकि लिंगायत वोट बैंक की भी बात की जा रही है यहाँ
पर. नहीं, जेडीएस को हो या कांग्रेस को हो, कैंडिडेट ही नहीं है. इसलिए भाजपा का कौन कौन वेकेंट होता है उन सबको वो लेता है. कांग्रेस का भी यही हालत है और जेडीएस को भी यही हालत है. उनको कैंडिडेट ही नहीं. भाजपा बहुत बलिष्ठ हो गया है. इधर किसको हम एक आदमी को दे सकता है, दूसरा थोड़ा कौन गुस्सा में रहता है वो जाता है. हमें कोई भी नुकसान नहीं भाजपा का कर्नाटक के लिए.
कांग्रेस पार्टी बार बार कह रही है सर कि भाजपा की सरकार प्रदेश में भ्रष्ट है। 40% किकबैक्स या करप्शन का ये जो एलिगेशन लगा है, ये बार बार है जो बोला जा रहा है कांग्रेस पार्टी से। आपको लगता है कर्नाटका की जनता ये बात मानेगी कि भाजपा की सरकार फेल हुई है या करप्शन है, जो सारी बातें कांग्रेस पार्टी कर रही है?
कर्नाटक के जनता कौन सा चुनाव हो गया, सभी चुनाव में भाजपा को ही जीता है। लेकिन कांग्रेस 40% बोलता है। एक ही एग्जाम्पल देने के लिए वो सफल नहीं है। हम डायरेक्टली बोल रहे हैं, वो अर्कावती केस में सिद्धरामैया 800 करोड़ 800 एकर्स का लूट किया है, वो 8000 करोड़ अमाउंट लूट किया है। हम डायरेक्टली हम तो डायरेक्टली उनको डॉक्यूमेंट समेत दिया है, वो रिप्लाई नहीं दे रहा है। सिर्फ 40% को ऐसा बोलता है। ये कि एग्जाम्पल हमें नहीं दे रहा है कांग्रेस वाले।
सर, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी और उनका करिश्मा, उनका पॉलिटिकल अपील जो है वो कई राज्यों की सरकारों में, चुनावों में काफी महत्वपूर्ण, काफी इंपॉर्टेंट रहा है। मोदी फैक्टर कर्नाटका इलेक्शंस में कितना अहम रहेगा, कितना जरूरी रहेगा?
100% हमें बहुत प्रॉफिट होता है, क्योंकि नरेंद्र मोदी विश्व नेता है। कर्नाटक में नरेंद्र मोदी को देवता स्वरूप है ऐसा लोग मान रहा है। इसलिए सभी चुनाव में हमें जीत तो आ रहा है। मोदी का नाम भी हमें बहुत अच्छा है और कर्नाटक में संगठन भी अच्छा है और डेवलपमेंट वर्क भी बहुत अच्छा है। 100% कर्नाटक में भाजपा का पूर्ण बहुमत आकर सरकार हम बनाते हैं।
Mr. Ishwarappa, sir, thank you so much for your time. बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया हमें समय देने के लिए. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Well, that was Mr. K.S. Ishwarappa, the tall leader of